Alright guys, I'm going to show you a flowchart that's going to help you identify what kind of conic we have based off of the general form. So general form looks like the ones before we complete the square. So it's something like this is in general form, and then we're going to try to figure out what kind of conic it is and then if it's horizontal or vertical. So we're gonna build a flowchart, and I'm gonna have you guys put it on the back of your foldable in the middle space where it's blank on the back side. You can put it on there. Hopefully you didn't write too much stuff on there so that we can put it in there. So the first question that we're gonna ask ourselves is both, well, let's use proper grammar, are both x and y squared? Two answers for that. We can say yes or no. If the answer is no, only x or y is, only one of them is squared, it has to be a parabola. If it's a parabola, we ask ourselves, is x squared if x is the squared term? Well, we have two answers, yes and no. If x is the squared term, then it's vertical. If y is the squared term, then it's horizontal. Okay, if both x and y are squared, then we're going to ask ourselves, are they the same sign? So that means both addition or both subtraction. Two answer choices for that, yes and no. If they're not both the same sign, that means that one of them is negative, one of them is positive, then that's a hyperbola. This one's kind of tricky because we actually have to do completing the square to be sure 100% if it's horizontal or vertical, but we're gonna just make a general statement. It's not always 100% correct, but we're gonna make a general statement about this so that we don't have to go through the process of completing the square. And so we're gonna ask ourselves, is x squared positive? Two answer choices, yes and no. If x squared is not positive, then it's vertical. If x squared is positive, then it's horizontal. Whoops, I'm off the screen. Then we got to come back up here. Are they the same sign? The answer was yes. So if they're the same sign, it either has to be an ellipse or a circle. So then we're going to ask ourselves, is there a different number in front of x squared and y squared? And the different number is the important thing. If it's the same number, it's going to be a circle. It has to be a different number. I ran out of room, so I'm going to go on to another page. Hopefully you don't have to do that. So 2 answer choices, yes and no. Is there a different number in front of x squared and y squared? The answer is no, then it's a circle. Circle doesn't have horizontal and vertical, it's just a circle, so we don't have to go any further. If the answer is yes, there's a different number, then that means that it's going to be an ellipse. With an ellipse, we're going to say, is the number in front of x squared bigger? Two answer choices, yes and no. If the answer is no, that means that the number in front of y squared is bigger. When the number in front of y squared is bigger, when you divide, it's actually going to have a smaller number underneath it. So that means that the bigger number is going to be under x squared, which means that it's going to be horizontal. If the bigger number is in front of x squared, it's going to be vertical. So that's it for the flowchart. That's how we figure out what's going on. I'm going to do another video that shows you some examples of using the flowchart.